desperately need to talk about the absolute hurricane of a confrontation that just went down between Leslie Thomas and Vanessa McBride. I am still shaking from the sheer intensity of it all. Who in the world would have ever thought that an interior design dispute could rapidly escalate into a full-blown, vicious war involving dirty casino money, shattered public images, and the terrifying looming wrath of a mob boss? Are we about to witness the complete and utter destruction of Leslie Thomas's entire life? Let's rewind and set the stage for this spectacular train wreck of a meltdown. We all know that Leslie has been desperately trying to rebuild her life, her reputation, and her literal house after the devastating storm wiped her property off the map. But her relentless pursuit of absolute perfection has turned into a waking nightmare for her interior designer, Jaylen. Can you even begin to imagine the sheer horror of working for a woman like Leslie? Jaylen has been suffering in silence through her impossible, grandiose demands, the frantic midnight phone calls demanding immediate blueprint changes, and her overall insufferable, high-maintenance attitude. The poor man was stretched so thin, he was at his absolute breaking point. Why does Leslie always feel the need to push people until they completely snap? Is it her deep-seated insecurity, or just her insatiable, toxic need for absolute control over every single person in her orbit? And then, like a ruthless shark smelling fresh blood in the water, in walks Vanessa McBride. Our girl Vanessa is on a massive mission to revamp Joey Armstrong's casino VIP room, and she absolutely does not have the time or the patience to play silly games. When Jaylen arrived at the country club, looking completely exhausted and openly complaining about his incredibly difficult client, Vanessa saw the perfect golden opportunity to strike. She didn't just politely ask for his services, she commanded them. And how exactly did she do it? With a massive, undeniable, heavy stack of cash. She offered a colossal deposit to secure Jaylen's exclusive services immediately, demanding he start the very next day. Money talks, darling, and in Vanessa's newly embraced world, it practically screams. Will Vanessa's cold, calculating, and ruthless business tactics finally crown her as the undisputed queen of the Fairmont Crest underworld? But of course, in true spectacular soap opera fashion, secrets and shady business deals never stay buried for long. The simmering tension erupted into a spectacular volcano of public drama when Leslie confidently walked into Uptown and caught Vanessa and Jaylen secretly hovering over the casino blueprints. I swear, I felt my heart completely stop during this scene. Leslie completely and utterly lost her mind. She erupted right there in the middle of the upscale crowded venue, her shrill voice echoing off the expensive walls. She aggressively pointed her finger and accused Vanessa of using her dirty casino money to maliciously steal the only interior designer in the entire town capable of understanding her elite, high-class aesthetic. The sheer, unadulterated audacity of Leslie. Does she really genuinely think she can publicly humiliate and scream at someone who is intimately tied to the town's most dangerous, lethal man? If Leslie truly thought for a single second that she was going to intimidate or embarrass Vanessa, she was dead wrong. Vanessa didn't even flinch. She didn't bat an eyelash. She stood her ground, radiating an icy, untouchable, and powerful aura, and delivered a verbal comeback that will undoubtedly go down in Beyond the Gates history. Vanessa coldly fired back, her voice dripping with condescension, that in the ruthless, real world of business, massive financial deposits and sheer, unbothered professionalism will always, without fail, triumph over quirky, unreasonable demands and midnight tantrums. Boom! It was a flawless, devastating, and fatal blow to Leslie's ego. Vanessa basically told Leslie that both her money and her attitude were tragically insufficient. How long has Vanessa been waiting to put this woman in her place? Is this the exact moment Vanessa fully and unapologetically embraces her role as a formidable, terrifying mob wife? The absolute best, most delicious part of this entire public spectacle? The audience standing right there, sipping their drinks and watching Leslie's carefully curated high society facade crumble into a million pathetic pieces were none other than Nicole and Danny Dupree. Oh, the sweet, delicious irony of it all, Leslie has spent years, literal years, trying to claw her desperate way into the elite, untouchable echelons of the Dupree and Richardson families, desperately seeking the respect and high-class status she feels she inherently deserves. And in one single humiliating, screaming match over wallpaper swatches and blueprints, she looked like a total, unhinged amateur. Nicole and Danny just stood there and watched, likely exchanging those knowing, highly judgmental glances that the Dupree women are so famous. Danny, who has been drowning in her own guilt over her elevator affair with Bill, probably loved the distraction. Has Leslie permanently and irreversibly destroyed whatever tiny shred of dignity she had left in Fairmont Crest? The humiliation tragically did not stop there for Leslie. Jaylen, heavily emboldened by Vanessa's massive financial payout and completely, utterly fed up with Leslie's relentless emotional abuse, finally stood up for himself. He looked a furious Leslie right in the eye and boldly admitted that he simply could not endure another single second of her erratic, unpredictable behavior, her constant midnight revisions that ruined his sleep, and her impossible-to-please toxic personality. He chose Vanessa's cold, hard money and straightforward professionalism over Leslie's chaotic, exhausting drama, walking away from her project without a single moment's notice or an ounce of regret. Can you even begin to imagine the burning sting of that public rejection? For a woman exactly like Leslie, who ties her entire self-worth and identity to her ability to command a room and boss people around, this was the ultimate, unforgivable insult. What in the world will a desperate, publicly humiliated Leslie do next to regain her power? True to her vindictive form, Leslie didn't just walk away, hang her head, and quietly lick her wounds. Oh no, that is not the Leslie Thomas way. Filled to the brim with a toxic, bubbling cocktail of intense embarrassment and blind rage, Leslie swore a bitter, loud vow right then and there to completely and thoroughly ruin Jaylen's career. She wants to ensure he never works in this town or any other town ever again. But Leslie is completely blinded by her own furious ego. She is tragically failing to see the massive, incredibly dangerous chessboard she has just foolishly stepped onto. By openly threatening to destroy Jaylen, she isn't just threatening a local interior designer. She is directly threatening the timeline, the success, and the financial future of the casino's highly anticipated VIP room project. And who exactly owns that casino? Joey Armstrong. Is Leslie genuinely, truly foolish enough to think she can disrupt Joey's lucrative business operations and walk away breathing? This is exactly where the storyline shifts from delightfully dramatic to downright spine-chillingly terrifying. Joey Armstrong is absolutely not a man you cross. He is a man who makes people disappear. He has already been dealing with the overwhelming, suffocating stress of his sister Heather, the infamous impaler, wreaking havoc, not to mention the constantly encroaching police investigations led by Jacob Hawthorne. The absolute last thing Joey needs right now is a disgruntled, high-maintenance, noisy socialite throwing a massive wrench into his casino operations and threatening his newly hired staff. Joey is inevitably, unavoidably dragged into this messy feud to fiercely protect his business's reputation and ensure his VIP room gets finished on time and under budget. When Joey Armstrong steps into the ring, the rules of engagement change entirely. Will Joey use his expensive, ruthless legal team to financially crush Leslie, or will he resort to his darker, far more sinister underworld tactics to silence her for good? I am genuinely, deeply terrified for Leslie right now. She is spiraling completely out of control, burning every single bridge she has left. She recently lost Ted to Shanice, a blow her ego still hasn't recovered from. She pushed Marcel away because his simple boat life wasn't elite or glamorous enough for her grandiose visions. And now she is actively alienating and threatening the very working professionals she desperately needs to rebuild her life and her home. She is entirely isolated, acting out of pure, unadulterated emotion and deeply wounded pride. By picking a petty fight with Vanessa and inadvertently drawing the dark, dangerous ire of Joey Armstrong, Leslie has plunged headfirst into a terrifying legal and potentially lethal spiral. She is swimming in a dark ocean filled with hungry sharks, and she is bleeding out. Will anyone, Ted, Eva, anyone step in to save Leslie from herself? or is she tragically destined to be completely devoured by the severe consequences of her own blinding arrogance? On the flip side of this chaotic coin, we absolutely have to marvel at Vanessa's stunning, breathtaking evolution. Just look at how far she has come. From a grieving, weeping widow desperately trying to navigate her daughter Deanna's intense hatred and the trauma of Doug's death, to a powerful, unyielding woman who can effortlessly drop a massive casino deposit and verbally destroy a bitter rival in the middle of a crowded Uptown. Vanessa is rapidly becoming a true force of nature in Fairmont Crest. She is quickly learning exactly how to wield Joey's immense power, his intimidating reputation, and his endless resources to get exactly what she wants, when she wants it. But we have to ask ourselves, at what cost? By fully embracing this cutthroat, unapologetic, mob-adjacent mentality, is Vanessa slowly but surely losing her soul? Is she becoming just as ruthless, cold, and calculating as the dangerous man she chooses to sleep next to every single night? As we look ahead to the next few episodes, the tension is absolutely suffocating. The VIP room project at the casino is no longer just a renovation. It is a highly volatile battleground. Leslie is on the warpath, desperately and frantically trying to sabotage Jaylen's work to soothe her bruised ego, while Vanessa and Joey stand united, ready to absolutely crush any obstacles or annoying socialites that stand in their way. The Dupree sisters, Nicole and Danny, are eagerly watching from the sidelines, popcorn in hand, absolutely thrilled as their biggest, most persistent nuisance spectacularly self-destructs in public. Every single buried secret, every ounce of lingering bad blood is bubbling right at the surface, ready to explode. When Joey Armstrong finally corners Leslie to deliver his ultimatum, will it be a quiet, terrifying, whispered threat in a dark, empty alleyway, or a massive, devastating public humiliation that makes the Uptown incident look like mere child's play? I am on the edge of my seat, and I absolutely cannot wait to find out what happens next. Keep your eyes glued to the screen, because Fairmont Crest is about to go up in flames.